We will now create the key measures for the cash flow statement. So we go back to the key measures table here. As you can see previously, we've done it for the income statement, and we've got it for the balance sheet. And now we're going to do the same for the cash flow. Okay, so what we do, minimizing this. Okay, so on key measures, we're going to create our first new key measure for the cash flow statement. Cash flow, first one is going to be cash flow from operating expenses, operating activities, sorry. Okay, so what we're going to say, calculate function, we're going to use the values, measure, the column, sorry, the measure that we actually created in the previous video. We're going to go and look at the top. So we're going to go and look at our data, our source data for the cash flow statement. We're going to look at the top column, and we're going to say if the top column equals operating activities. So just to explain what we've done here. So what I've said here is if you go to our modeling, yeah, if you go, and then you go to this CF, I'm just going to do it like that. Sorry, okay, it's CF data, this one, yeah. Okay, so let's just go to our modeling, just select it again. So my apologies, it's this tab here, it's the data tab. There's no wonder I didn't see it. So under the CF data, so what I'm saying, the formula right is if any of these line items has got a type set as operating activities, then show me the values. That's what we've done. So if you remember in our cash flow data here, tab here, we've classified our items between operating, investing, and financing activities. So what we said, the tax for me right now is that if that item equals operating activities, shows the value. That's what we've written. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so that was the first one. Okay, so now we're going to do the same for our rest of us. So I'm just going to, for the purposes, I'm just going to highlight that and use it again. So Control C. You can type again. You can type it out if you want. Okay, so I'm going to now here say from financing activities. And I'm just going to say if that equals okay, that should work. You'll see that I've created mine under the balance sheet. We'll change that later on. We'll create a cash flow statement group, and we'll just drag and drop it to the cash flow statement group. Okay, next one is going to be from investing activities. And yeah, I'm going to say if it includes investing. If the top includes investing activities. Show me the value. Okay, the next one I want to create is what we're going to call the beginning cash position. So I'm going to type that one out, beginning okay, calculate, also look at the CF values, measure. Now here we're going to say, yeah, we're not going to use, we're also going to use the type, but we're going to say, if actually we're going to use here, sorry, this data, we want to use the actual cash flow statement item. So if the cash flow statement column reads beginning cash flow balance, then bring up that value. And again, we need to get the spelling right here as per the source data description we've imported. There we go. Make sure we're happy with that one. So let's go back to CF data, our source table. So in this instance, the beginning cash flow position, I've actually pulled it from this column because it's not sitting on top. So there should be a column description here that says beginning. Here we go. So if the beginning cash position equals that, then bring this value here. Okay, so that looks fun. All right, and then the last one we're gonna measure, we're gonna do in this exercise is the new measure. Again, I'm just gonna click on this section here, otherwise it's gonna put the measure in a different place. So I'm just gonna click there. What we're gonna do now is just create the end cash position measure, using the previous measure as an example. So we're going to do exactly the same. We're just going to change the description. So it's in this instance, it's the end cash position. We want to say calculate. See, again, it's the values, but we want to reference it to the cash flow statement items column. But we want to say where it equals the description of end cash position. Okay, so that should work. It looks like it's going to put it over here. I actually want to have it part of the key measures. But let's see where, okay, see. So in this instance, I've put it in the wrong place. So all we have to do now is just highlight this measure and then go here to our home table and then just move that to key measures. There. You'll see it will move from there to this section. There we go. Let's move it there. And before we wrap up, let's go and just group this under cash flow statement. Okay, so let's go to anyone. Just click on the beginning cash position. And what we're going to say, we just give the folder name that we want to group it under. Cash flow statement. Enter. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to now just drag these ones just to the cash flow section. So you can notice by doing this course, I'm teaching a lot of technique in between. How to work smarter. What's best practice? Just some tips along the way. And this end cash balance should also be sitting there. Okay, there we go. So if I close that, there we go. So it looks nice and clean. Great. So right, so that completes this section. We'll move on to the next lesson.